I would say staying out of your own way for an athlete is you're already really a talented athlete in whatever your sport is, because you're at a certain level. So you're very talented. And the issue is when you start getting super talented, you start having really high expectations of yourself, and nobody's perfect. You're not going to play to those expectations every time, and people beat themselves down, and your worst enemy is yourself. And your biggest cheerleader is yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody will. And I think that's the biggest thing, is just trying to get out of your own way. You know what you're capable of. And if it doesn't happen, how we've kind of talked about earlier, you know what, I'm going to go back and get them tomorrow. And if you kind of have that mindset and never doubt yourself, that's kind of getting out of your own way.
Hello, everyone. This is Tim Brown, author of the book Uncommon Athletes, Filled with Passion, Fuel Your Purpose. And I'm excited today to have with me a truly uncommon athlete, Troy Taylor Jr. They call him TJ. TJ went from playing basketball to picked up the sticks at a young age, and now he's a golfer at Michigan State University. TJ, you want to introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi. First off, thank you for having me on here. And I'm Troy Taylor II, from Columbus, Ohio, and I attend Michigan State University. I'm on the men's golf team.
TJ, wow, I see you got an interesting sign behind you. What does that say, and what does that mean to you?
So it says work hard and stay humble. And my word is humble. I try to be as humble as possible through everything, through success and stuff. Just try to be as leveled down as possible. So my mom got it actually for me to put on my wall, so I would see it every morning. Just so when I wake up, just not in sports, but also in school, wake up, work hard, do as possibly as good as I can with whatever I'm going to do that day, and then be humble while doing it. So that's pretty much my word that I always try to go by, trying to be as humble as possible.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, growing up, you had a dad who was a great high school basketball player, college basketball, and a successful high school basketball coach. So how did you get away? How did you find golf?
Yeah, it's very interesting. He just kind of picked it up, and him and his buddies, playing with Cart Kellogg and Ronnie Stokes and all those guys that play basketball, they just picked up golf. And me as a little kid, they gave me a small club, a little plastic club actually, and I was just in the backyard kind of whacking around. And him and my mom were like, wow, he actually has a nice swing, so let's kind of have him do that. So it was just kind of a fun thing for me and my dad to do when I was little, trying to kind of hold me out from playing basketball just so I didn't get burned out. And that was just kind of a fun thing for me and him to go do after school. And I just kind of grew into it, and I love it.
Mm-hmm. So when did you find your passion for golf? When did your passion for golf kick in?
I'd say probably when I was in 6th grade. I think that's when I told my dad, like, this is what I want to do. So I think that's when it really was a true love. I really enjoyed it, but that's when I figured out, like, this is what I want to do with my life and see how far it can take me.
Yeah. You shared a story once about how mom would be there and you would be at the driving range and she's just handing you balls or whatever, just watching.
Yep. Yeah, she would just go to the range with me. My dad was still coaching at the time, so he was busy with his girls' teams and stuff. So she was really the one behind the scenes that nobody really knows about. She was there all the time when I was little. When I was definitely more annoying and just wanted to hit balls all the time. So she was there and just put the ball on the tee for me all the time, and I just keep whacking away. So she definitely is a big part in why I love it so much.
Yeah, that's one of those things that people don't talk much about, you know, the role of mothers and the blessing of having parents who support you, you know, and that's really a blessing that young kids some kids are missing that, you know, but how important that is, that role of parents supporting your dreams. So you're truly an uncommon athlete. How's it been being an African-American young man playing in golf tournaments? I'm sure sometimes you're the only African-American that's competing in those tournaments. How's that been for you? How's that experience?
It's a different experience for sure. I'm very used to it now, which I don't want to. I hope we can get a lot more African-Americans out there. But just like the past 2 weeks at our college events, I'm the only person there. So you get some looks more in the fact of, wow, like, oh, there's an African-American golfer here, and then guys just always looking. So it's definitely a different thing, but I kind of just use it as fuel, just so when they leave, they just can't say, oh, he's a pretty decent African-American golfer. I just want to be recognized like he's a good golfer in general. So I use that as fuel and just know that at the end of the day, I can't do anything about it. And if people want to look at me different because I don't look like them, that's their fault and shame on them. And the people that open me with just open arms actually at tournaments, those are the people I want to surround myself and be around.
Yeah. What are some of the obstacles and how can more young African Americans get involved in golf? What are some of the ways you see us being able to get involved in the game?
Yeah, I think the first tee program is really a great thing, kind of introduces you to the game of golf, but just also teaches you the important things about golf and how those things flow over into real life. Just, integrity, being honest. And I think that's a good thing starting off from a young age. And I would really like to see some programs start up to try to get clubs into young kids' hands, because golf is an expensive sport. It's not like basketball or football where all you got to do is, go out and buy a ball that's $20 and a pair of shoes, and then you can always play and you can find somewhere to work on your game. And golf's an expensive sport. So I like to see, the first tee program, and then try to see some other things in the community, just try to get kids into the game of golf and see if they like it, and then figure out ways from there to keep it going.
Yeah, you kind of hit on a few of those things. For some young athletes listening, what are some of the life skills the game of golf has taught you, even at a young age?
Yeah, just from a young age, it taught me how to be honest. Golf is, not everybody is right there at that moment in time to see what you're doing. I mean, if you touch the ball, unless the person is literally right there, you can't really tell. So just being honest and having manners, going into golf courses and stuff, just talking to people, networking, and then just integrity, because it's bigger than the game itself. You're representing more than yourself when you go on a golf course. So you can't have a bad attitude, and you're representing the golf course yourself. For me, when I have the university logo on, I'm representing Michigan State University and also my mom and dad's last name. So there's a lot more than that. So I think golf from a young age has really taught me how to carry myself. And then also just on the golf course, nothing ever goes correct. It's very, very, very uncommon for that to happen. So just dealing with that in life too. If classes are going wrong or something's going wrong in life, how to power through it and try to grind through whatever you're going through in your day-to-day life. So it's definitely helped me a lot.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good lessons, because basically every course is different. There's no two courses the same, and that's life. Being able to make those adjustments, as you're going through. So those lessons are definitely valuable. How was it competing in both high school golf and basketball in high school? How was that?
It was cool. I really liked it. It was different because in golf, even though it is a team sport in high school and in college, it's still individual. So, you're trying to do your very best for your teammates, but at the same time, it's very individual. And then in basketball, it's a lot nicer because, you can have a bad game, but you can still produce and have your teammates come and pick you up. And in golf, it's a little trickier than that because in golf, you count 4 out of the 5 guys that travel and count their score. So even if they count your score and you play bad, you still kind of did some damage to your team. So in high school, it was fun. The guys were great. We had a great high school team. I was a freshman when they went to state, so they had the Wesson brothers, really good squad. So it was really fun environment being in there in the basketball locker room with Coach Kalo.
How do those two sports parallel? How does one sport help the other? For example, playing golf, how did that help you with basketball? And playing basketball, how did it help you? How did it help your golf game?
Yeah, I think for my golf game helping with basketball, I think it taught me how to be a little more patient, just not being as aggressive all the time. Just because in golf, you really have to be very strategic in your round of how you kind of attack the golf course. So I would say that kind of taught me how to be more of a patient guard, not really attacking all the time, just playing at different speeds. And then I would say basketball in my golf side, I think that brought out the fire in me. Because golf, not too many people have fire. Most of the time people are kind of cool, calm, and collected, but that kind of brings a fire out of me. If I make a big putt or do something, I mean, I give a pretty big fist pump and scream, come on, stuff. So I think basketball brought out the fire side in me.
Yeah, that emotional side, get fired up, because it's kind of quiet in golf, but in basketball, them stands, the whole game, somebody's hollering or whatever,
Yeah, so that I would say those two, and then warming up, I would say basketball. I mean, I'm one of the only kind of guys on the range with my headphones in, bopping my head. So I feel like I'm in a basketball setting. So I think basketball helped me with that too.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Now you had a little heartache there. You're at the state golf tournament your senior year. It's kind of disappointing the way that ended for you. Talk about that experience, and the other side. How did that help you become a better golfer and a person? What you learned from that?
Yeah. So that was a really tough time. My senior year, I was the best player in the state, just nationally as well. I think I was top 30 in the country, just as a junior golfer in the country. So I was definitely a favorite to win, and I was playing really good. And I believe that if I got there, I would have had a really high chance of winning. So, I mean, I lost in a playoff hole in the third hole. I hit a ball out of bounds, and it kind of went downhill from there and lost. And it was kind of heartbreaking because I didn't technically get beat. I always can accept if I get beat by somebody, but if I hand it to somebody, I think that's probably the hardest thing because I can control what I can control. And then looking back on it after a week or so, it kind of just made me really figure out, you're not really, what's the word I'm looking for technically? You're not the person that you show when you play golf. That's not how people are going to think of you. If you don't play well, that doesn't mean that you're a bad person. I kind of let golf define me at that moment in time. And I think that kind of brought it all full circle that no matter what I do, people are going to be proud of me. I'm going to be proud of myself. And that doesn't define who I am as a person or if I'm going to play good the next time I go tee it up. And that was probably the first time I actually hit adversity for myself because I just was very good in junior golf and high school golf and never really lost. So that was a really good learning experience for me. So now when I come to school, if I have a bad round, I know, next time I go tee it up, I'm going to go bounce back and define myself. And that's definitely helped me. It helped me last week in our college event. I was in the lead and played a bad second round and bounced back and got a top 10. So I think that has definitely helped me as a person, and I definitely want to trade it for the world.
Yeah. I think that's a good learning lesson that, like you said, golf doesn't define. It's not who you are. It's just what you do. It's just what you do, and you can bounce back. And sometimes we have to go through those things, and it really shows the character that we have. It really brings out the character, and because you can sulk and say, "Oh man," or you can, "Hey, well, I'll get him tomorrow," or whatever. I'll see him again, down the road, so to speak. So that's awesome. Now, your dad's played Ohio State, great Buckeye. And how did you get out of the state? How did you get to Michigan State? Come on, man. You're supposed to be right there at the Scarlet Gray course. I know you played that course a lot. I'm sure you played that course a lot. That's one of your home courses. And then you end up at Michigan State. How did that happen?
Yeah. So, Ohio State was interested in me really early, and then they had a coaching switch. And the new coach came in and was a great guy. And I met my former teammate named Andrew Walker at a golf tournament. Me and him were only two African-Americans last year in the Big Ten playing golf. And we were 2 out of the 5 in the Power 5 conferences of African-American golfers. So
wait, you got to say that again. 2 out of 5 in all the Power 5 conferences. Just 5 African-American. Wow.
So it was crazy. And so I met him in junior golf, and he was already committed here. He was a very talented junior golfer. give a little shout out to him. He's youngest U.S. African American, beat out Tiger Woods and the Smithsonian. So he's a big time golfer.
Wow.
And he committed here, and he was a year older than me. So he's like, oh, like just come up and visit. And my mom and dad, I was just locked in on Ohio State. Like, I want to be a Buckeye, always been a Buckeye. My dad's like, you got to go look at other places to know, like, if that place for you. So I was like, fine, whatever. And I did my first visit here, and I was just in love with the place. Campus is beautiful. The people here are awesome. And it took me a year and a half to finally pull the trigger and say I was going to commit. And it, at the end of the day, it just felt like home for me. I felt comfortable here. I felt like I could grow as a person and be out of my comfort zone and being in the Columbus area. And just also networking and meeting new people that can maybe help me in my life if, golf doesn't work out, and just see, meeting new friendships. And also just the people here are so nice, and the athletic support staff we have here is second to none. So it was just a no-brainer for me, and I knew I could get better here as a golfer, just not as a person, with our practice facilities. So it was just the best all-around decision for me to get to where I want to be as a professional golfer, but also grow as a person and be the best person I possibly can be.
Wow, that's powerful. So talking about your college career thus far, what are some of the unique experiences that the game of golf has afforded you?
Yeah, the game of golf has brought a lot of great things in my life. I think probably the best thing since I've been here, 2 years ago in August, we went to Scotland. We went to St. Andrews, the home of golf, where golf was made. So much historical stuff there. And it was just awesome and a blessing to be able to go with my teammates and our coaches and just be able to go see the history of golf and why we play game of golf and why we love it so much. And I think that's probably one of the things that will stick with me for a lifetime, is going over there to play. But then also, while we're in the States, we're very blessed to have a great supporting cast of donors that let us go all over the country and play golf and stay places. So there's so many things I can name that golf has blessed me with. And we would be talking about it forever, but I would probably say Scotland's probably the best thing that's come out of it so far.
Oh, that's great. I think one of the blessings as well is your dad has been able to hang out with you quite a bit. How's that been, having dad hanging out with you during your career?
It's been great. I think it's brought me and him just a way tighter bond than normal, just because golf's such a long round. I mean, that's 4 hours that I can spend with my dad in a different setting, no phone, just me and him out there with his buddies and stuff. And it's just really cool that he likes something as well as I do. And then my mom comes out there as well, and it's just a family thing. She rides in the cart and might hit a couple balls, and it's just kind of a nice thing to get out of the house and do stuff. And then also, it's great to see them at every tournament. My dad comes to every college event, and it's always nice seeing him, just having that friendly face. If something's going wrong, I can always look and just kind of be blessed that, I have somebody that cares enough to travel across this country to watch me go play golf. And I just feel so blessed. I don't tell them enough, but I'm really blessed that they do that.
Well, he's going to hear it on this tape.
Yeah.
He's going to hear it. That's awesome. Still been an amateur golfer. What are some of the goals you've set? I know you played in a couple of qualifiers for some big tournaments. What are some of the goals you've set for yourself?
Yeah. So this year, one of my goals is to be first, second team All Big Ten. That's been one of my big goals, and I feel like I'm at to that point now where I'm probably one of the better players in the Big Ten. So doing that, and then want to be an All-American. Have 2 more years, but this year I definitely want to be an All-American, and I really want to win a Big Ten championship with my teammates. I think that's probably one of the coolest experiences in golf. As a team, because it's an individual sport, is to get something as a team, because after I leave here, the rest of my golf career will be individual. So I definitely want to win a Big Ten championship this year with this team. It's a really good team, and I think we have a really good chance. So those are my 3 goals this year. And then my 4th goal, which it's very, very small, is just trying to stay out of my own way, because I think the rest of those goals will accomplish themselves if I stay out of my own way and believe in myself. So that's pretty much my biggest goal. And then I think the rest of it will fall in place. And that's kind of how I'm trying to think this year, and let the rest fall in place if I do the things I can control.
Well, you said something powerful there, and I want you to expound on that for especially for some young athletes about staying out your own way. But what does that mean to an athlete?
It means a lot. I finally, I think, just broke the barrier of it this past 4 months. So I would say staying out of your own way for an athlete is, you're already really a talented athlete in whatever your sport is, because you're at a certain level. So you're very talented. And the issue is when you start getting super talented, you start having really high expectations of yourself, and nobody's perfect. You're not going to play to those expectations every time, and people beat themselves down, and your worst enemy is yourself. And your biggest cheerleader is yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody will. And I think that's the biggest thing, is just trying to get out of your own way. You know what you're capable of. And if it doesn't happen, how we've kind of talked about earlier, you know what, I'm going to go back and get them tomorrow. And if you kind of have that mindset and never doubt yourself, that's kind of getting out of your own way. I was one of those people where I kind of doubted myself for a while and get in my own way. And it clearly showed. And then when I stopped kind of getting out of my own way and just knowing, you know, I'm a really talented golfer, and my talent's going to show, and at some point, and then just kind of let it, my game do the talking for itself, and just be in the best mental aspect I possibly can. And I think that was one of the other things too. I had a couple different life-changing events where my mom's sister passed away unexpectedly, and then also I had surgery. So just those kind of two things for me in the past year and a half kind of brought full circle in the fact, you know, there's other things that are more important than the sport that you play. Tomorrow is not promised. So I kind of put that in perspective as well, of just when I go out and play, be blessed that I'm capable and God allows me to go out and enjoy a game that I love every day, and kind of not take it for granted. So I think those are probably the two biggest things that kind of help me get out of my own way. So that would probably be my best advice for any athlete. Just know that you're really blessed to go out and do whatever you're doing, even if you're not doing it to your full capability at that moment in time. I mean, other things could be worse in your life. So that's kind of what I think of.
Wow. Well, you know how in church they say amen. And everybody just say it. Let the church say amen. Well, that's powerful. I'm gonna have to leave. I'm gonna have to close on that one, because I don't even want to try to add anything else to that. That's a powerful message, you know, for young people to hear, and hear from a young man, and hear from somebody young, just to hear how, you know, that you, and I think it's assuring that you got it. You know, you understand life, you know, that you got it. You know that life is bigger than golf. It is, and you also understand how blessed you are to be able to play a game with a little ball and a club, you know, and all the benefits that come from playing a game with a club and a little ball, you know. Just being able to if you can put that little ball in the hole, you know, the opportunities are there for you. And we truly know that God has blessed you with a gift and a talent. And I'm just so excited that you acknowledge that, and you're using that gift for God to get the glory, you know, from it. And you've been blessed with great parents, you know, who believed in you and who are there for you and support you in that. So I want to thank you for this opportunity just to have this conversation. And I know that there's some young people and adults and parents who'll be blessed by it. So I want you to continue being that young man. You talked about these things earlier, being that young man of honesty, being that young man of character, being that young man of integrity. And those are the qualities that will carry you, not just through golf, but through life. And I stand in agreement for all those goals. You know, I'm standing in agreement. I'm agreeing with you for all those. I'm looking forward to you accomplishing all those things, but knowing most importantly that God is with you. He's with you. Wherever he has for you is for you, and just walking in that. So TJ, I want to thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the course.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for taking your time out. It was great talking to you as always. And I appreciate it, and hopefully I can keep it up, and I hope we can get some kids in some golf clubs, and you know, have them try it out at least. Because even if it's not the main popular sport, you know, it comes into the business world quite often when you get older. So it's always a good game to pick up. So hopefully we can grow the game a little bit.
All right. Okay, TJ, thanks for your time.
Yep, I
Be
appreciate it.
blessed.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right.